Today we're going to be finding out about some of the best and probably worst musical SCPs there is. The only one musical SCP I'm aware of is the Song of Genesis, which will turn you into a tree. Yeah, not a fun experience if I do say so myself. But yeah, man, there's probably going to be some wacky shit in here and probably some gruesome shit. If you want to watch the full video, be sure to go check out Exploring Series. Like I said, excellent channel. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into this video.
Musical SCP.
It would also be worthwhile to mention that I have no musical talent whatsoever. I learned how to play, was it called, for Elise, or whatever it's called, on the piano in like, I was 12 or 13, and I wasn't very good. Couldn't even do both hands at the same time, you know, like with the chords. I only could do the one hand. So yeah, I also played the Spider-Man tune once, but don't remember how to do it. So yeah, that's my musical talent, the extent of it at least.
Starting off pretty simply, SCP-012 is a piece of handwritten musical score entitled On
Is it in
Mount
Russian?
Golgotha, retrieved during an excavation of a tomb in northern Italy.
Oh, it's Italian.
The piece seems to be an incomplete part of a larger set of sheet music, written with a reddish-black ink, originally believed to be a natural dye, but later found to be human blood.
Ah, yes. There's nothing more eerie than finding, you know, random script written in human blood. I would expect no less. You know, what's interesting is I wonder where most of the composers are from. Like the great ones. Because you think of like Mozart and Beethoven. Are they both German? I don't know. I think when I think of composers, like for some reason my mind goes straight to Russia, not Italy. But then again, they do opera and shit in Italy, right?
Those that view the piece inevitably kill themselves,
Ah,
either through
yeah.
blood loss
There you
from
go.
trying to finish the composition with their own blood,
Of course.
or from suicide after declaring that the piece is impossible to finish.
Of course, yes.
Attempts to perform the music from the sheet have resulted in a disagreeable cacophony, with each instrumental part having no correlation or harmony with the other instruments.
When you talk about gruesome starts, I mean, that is as SCP as it gets. Pretty basic, because it is the first, you know, the first installment, right? It's number 12 on the list. Yeah, it's everything you expect from an SCP, and pretty terrifying. You know, hopefully he's gonna lighten the mood now with a funny one.
On to something a bit more involved, SCP-3636 is a jukebox with a decorative rainbow-colored light across the top.
Isn't it crazy that some
and a
people
golden
still buy
plate
these
bearing the
records and shit?
inscription, "World's Greatest Jukebox."
I want to actually know, if you buy records, which I don't even have a record player, but I know people that do, because they still make the vinyl. Does it sound better or worse? Surely it sounds worse than if, like, you're listening to it through a computer speaker or your phone or something, or headphones.
The glass screen, where one would normally find a booklet detailing the songs available, is instead replaced with a touch screen displaying a search bar
modernized,
and the text, "Search for song title, artist, or album."
Yeah, that's great. It's just
The
an
jukebox
enhanced
also
jukebox.
has no coin slot, and more notably, no apparent power source.
I mean, that's a little creepy, but
Searching for a song will result in a list of every version of the song known to exist, including unreleased early versions and every live performance from the original artist.
That's pretty cool.
As far as the Foundation has learned, these live performances are accurate to the original performance, and the jukebox possesses a rather wide range of time periods, even capable of producing live performances.
Does it have shitty YouTube covers too?
Period hundreds of years ago. The video display
This
is
is where it
based
gets
on the
creepy.
lyrical content of the song being played, often directly depicting the events being mentioned in the song, or simply displaying events based on plays on words. While this truly does sound like the world's greatest jukebox,
it really does.
The events displayed in the video proceed to actually carry out in a location in the real world.
Oh, that's a little
the
weird.
Live music video text. The effects last for as long as the song being played, although obviously this could result in lingering effects afterwards.
Right, you broke your timeline.
The jukebox was first discovered by firefighters during a fire at a bar in New York,
and it didn't
killed
burn.
21 people.
It's straight
the
from
jukebox
hell.
itself was found to be undamaged, with the screen showing a video of the bar fire while playing the song "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
That is perfect. I didn't see that one coming. Some of these SCP writers have such great creativity, man. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. We didn't start the fire. Well, who did then? We need to ask Billy Joel who started the fire. This really was the greatest jukebox ever invented. Up until, you know, it started spawning the real life music events or videos in real life. But that is pretty cool. Eventually, surely they could actually invent a jukebox that does that. And I think that's called it's just called Spotify, you know, but or YouTube.
Playing Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell showed a
Jesus.
tall, elderly man with pale skin breaking into
Hey.
Site 17 and proceeding to search for and spy on the research assistant
Ah,
who selected the song.
nice.
After the song finished,
What's that Stalker song called? Every Breath You Take or something, which is actually about a stalker. Don't play that one.
elderly man could not be located, but the assistant identified him as an uncle that had abused him as a child,
uncle.
resulting in him
Jesus
experiencing
Christ.
severe paranoia for the following week. Playing the song Jukebox Hero by Foreigner resulted in the jukebox suddenly disappearing from containment, eventually being located on top of an apartment building in New York City, with a cape affixed to it reading Jukebox Hero.
Nice.
Next to it was a
A
severely
superhero now.
malnourished man tied up with a rope, and a written confession to several murders next to him.
Oh shit, he
Later
literally turned
searches
into a
of the song
superhero.
displayed it in a separate list called Favorites. Selecting the song Wonderwall by
Oh, a
Oasis
great song.
resulted in the screen remaining blank for 5 seconds before a female voice is heard saying, "Sorry, I don't like that song," followed by the screen returning to the search selection.
Okay, dude. Who doesn't like Wonderwall?
Throughout their testing,
What the
or
hell?
perhaps just by utilizing good
that
judgment,
is heresy,
a number
dude.
of songs have been blacklisted for playing. These
Friday,
include
Rebecca Black.
It's the End of the World as We Know It
Yeah.
by REM,
Probably wouldn't want to play that.
Call of Cthulhu by Metallica,
You wouldn't want to play that one either.
Chocolate Rain by Tay Zonday,
Is that the YouTube one?
It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls,
Ah.
and
Yeah.
Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
Yeah, I mean, some of those sound pretty
At
gruesome.
one point, the
It's
jukebox
raining
began
men
playing
would be kind of funny.
Why Can't We
Probably
Be Friends?
would probably be quite funny to see men raining only to see it splat on the ground. And would the men spawn like just randomly in the sky and then start raining down, or would they just like teleport? Like, would they just be taken from random places in the world and then start falling down and raining? These are the questions.
Continuing on to something a bit sadder, SCP-1639 is a portable radio produced sometime between 1979 and 1982 that's able to receive a signal from a frequency normally reserved for aeronautical navigation aids.
Okay.
When 1639 is tuned to this frequency,
Is it gonna have,
receives
like,
an audio signal, mostly
Titanic radio waves, or just like shipwreck last second black box noises, you know?
consisting of jazz music, primarily pieces that are known to exist. There
Known.
is a small percentage
Primarily
of jazz
known.
pieces played, however, that have only been heard through 1639,
That's pretty
although
cool.
these utilize fewer instruments and with lower sound quality. The rest of the audio content consists of an individual speaking, generally commenting on the jazz being played, or
reaction
reading various
videos, but in
poems and
radio
stories
form.
written by him, or discussing firearms, first aid, or his
it's
current
American
state
for
of
sure.
health. The signal is constantly being transmitted, and the man's narration occurs at regular intervals, regardless of the time of day or his reported condition. So that was Miles Davis and Blue and Green, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, is this him?
A wonderful
That's pretty cool.
Just feel how smooth it is. It really brings memories back. I can just feel myself relaxing and calming down.
It is exploring
Reaching a
series.
kind of calmness deep inside me. Other genres of music are heard by the ears, but jazz is heard by the heart.
Yeesh.
I told you I'd give you an update on my condition. Well, it is getting worse, I'm afraid. Like a drill in my chest, you know?
Thatch.
Feels
Heart
like it's
disease.
drilling deep inside me. I don't know if I can take much more. Anything else I wanted to say? Oh yeah. I'm out of beans.
Beans.
I ran out of cans of beans this lunch, so now I'm down to the corn.
Corn. Oh
Not
no.
quite getting my balanced diet, am I? Potatoes are growing, so that's good.
Hey, you can grow potatoes.
They should
It's
be
like the
ready
Martian.
I'm wondering whether to kill one of the pigs.
Jesus. Why not?
They're looking awfully thin. I tried one of those green tubers I mentioned yesterday, and it was bitter, but didn't taste too bad. I'll collect some more at some point, after some more jazz.
What's
Took me
happening
12
to him?
rounds to get to them, though, so I'll be out of magazines very soon. But now, for some more jazz.
Yeah, some more
Let
jazz.
those worries
Jazz is always the
fade
answer.
away. I should bring the pigs inside.
Jesus. Hey. Did he shoot himself or the pigs?
They got all the pigs.
Who did?
Okay. This next track is
Where is he?
Angel by Wes Montgomery.
Is he just living in a fucking zombie apocalypse, dude?
So,
The radio, listening to jazz for the rest of his life. That's what it sounds like. That is what it sounds like to me.
A solitary man living in some sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Boom, I nailed it, bro.
Clinging to life.
They call me
while
psychic
enjoying
for a
one of
reason.
the few comforts remaining to him. Some jazz
He's got
music.
corn, dude. All you need.
Hopefully, he can keep on keeping on. Let's finish with SCP-4445, an adjusted Atwood-Noriega causal harmonic resonance amplifier built by the Project Fleetwood team in 1959. It uses powerful arcane and thaumatological elements to create a resonance approximation field designed to reinforce the causal and conceptual manifestations of melody and harmony that constitute music.
Yes, of course.
In other words, it makes sure that the population of the world can understand and recognize what music is.
I mean, I knew what he was saying. Did you guys know? That's why he has to, he has to sing.
Differentiating it from other sounds. This is apparently a naturally occurring effect under normal circumstances.
We are living in 420p.
One would expect that humans can recognize what music is. It's around 27 meters in height, composed of a vast array of implements, and powered by a geothermal power supply underneath it.
Of course. At least
it's
renewable.
A series of long antennae run roughly 1 kilometer underneath it and around it in order to reduce the noise generated by the mechanical components. The Foundation constructed this in response to an event referred to as the Trinity Zero event, which took place on February 3rd, 1959, when a plane carrying musicians Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. Richardson crashed in Iowa.
Wait, is Richie Valens the guy that sings La Bamba, whatever it is? And he did die at like 19, no?
This event is often referred to as the day the music died, thanks to Don McLean and his song American Pie. And it seems that this event had a disastrous impact on the conceptual stability of music. This event was the culmination of a series of drops in the universal background melodia harmonia resonance.
Didn't a lot of musicians, like the 1950s, 70s era, just die in plane crashes, dude? Like quite a few of them did.
Essentially, humanity began to lose the ability to differentiate between music and other sounds.
That's how mumble rap was formed.
Although it wasn't immediately apparent to the general population.
Makes sense.
Many people will not even realize the slow shift as they become unable to recognize what music is, although unemployment rates for those in the music industry will undoubtedly skyrocket.
So music will just be a noise. I don't understand. Because that means everyone would just have to totally forget that concerts were a thing and that these things were all thing, like all of these live performances and what you heard at bars and shit were just things. You know what I mean? You have to suspend your disbelief or suspend your whatever it's called.
Humanity has evolved alongside music, and they find it intolerable to suggest an existence that doesn't include it.
How dare you
as
take
the
away
resulting mankind would
my
be
dubstep,
incomprehensibly different.
How dare you?
The team believes that they can fix things, although it will include thaumatological elements recovered from raids on Fifthus. They were able to actually measure certain fluctuations in the resonance field, which correlated to certain events connected to music. Whitney Houston's performance of the Star-Spangled Banner at Super Bowl 25 in 1991 resulted in the single greatest fluctuation recorded, greatly improving the stability of the field for 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
The only Star-Spangled Banner performance I can remember was the Fergie one. Was it at the All-Star game or was it the NBA Finals? I think it was the All-Star game, where like she just really butchered the song and all the players were just laughing at her.
An explosion in Kuwait that destroyed an entire catalog of rare regional vinyl records caused a sudden drop in the field.
Why is there vinyl records stored in Kuwait? It seems like a very weird country to be storing your vinyl records. I feel like they got a lot of oil, but I don't know about vinyl records.
They found a note in his personal effects written by Atwood, who had died 7 years prior. The note seems to have been written around the time of the machine's initial activation. In the letter, Atwood says that they lied during their presentation to the Overseer Council, and he fears that they haven't discovered it. He fears it because in many ways he hoped that they would be found out, so that the responsibility of their folly would have fallen onto another.
Yeah, but he's dead, so really and truly, you know, why does he wouldn't care anymore. He's dead. Atwood or whatever his name is. Oh man.
They lied when they said that the resonance field had failed, because in actuality, it has disappeared entirely. The tuners they developed to detect it have found nothing, and it's the
So
same
now
for
it's
the
a
tuners
hoax.
they have attached to satellites deep in space. The machine they've built, however, will work to bring it back, and they'll be able to hear music again just as before.
So now they can't
He
hear it
does
yet?
reveal,
What's
however,
going on
that
here?
they didn't find something during their Fifthus raid, but instead they took something.
Ah, they
Apparently,
stole.
the Fifthus had the last singer on Earth, who was singing the last pure song
Curse
and
you,
the last
SCP
breath
Foundation.
of the resonance.
They yoinked the
A
music.
sound Atwood describes as being summer and warm breezes and a blue sky all at once. The Foundation proceeded to cut the song out of the singer's still beating heart
What?
and stitch it into their machine so that it could continue to sing that same song.
Whoa. We
Atwood
took a
says
dark
that the
turn,
song
boys.
was magnificent when they started up the
Jesus
machine,
Christ.
like a sea of cellos warming up in unison. But it won't keep playing forever, as it's just a machine, and it will eventually wear out.
Fucking yoinked the heart out of a singer. Stuck it straight into the fucking AI, dude. Straight into the machine. That is some crazy shit. That is some horror movie, some super villain behavior right there.
Certainly, they've made it as secure as possible, but eventually it will stop playing, and there won't be any music afterwards. A very literal interpretation of the day the music died. But
Yeah.
it does highlight how integral music is to humanity.
We'll take that one as a very creative. We'll take that as a very creative ending. You know, he took a very famous song and took one line, probably the most famous line from by the day the music died, and he turned it into an SCP. And I have to give that man all the credit in the world because I would have never thought of that idea. But yeah, those musical SCPs, that was something, ladies and gentlemen. I can't promise consistent SCP reactions. We'll be doing different types of content, but I have a few SCP videos that I've been seeing here that I would like to watch. The musical SCPs I wanted to find out and learn more about. And that was quite interesting. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.